Screaming without water is like a parade without a man. Regret the comedy of a secret. Keep repeating to yourself, I am really, really not average. I am really, really not average. Notice the sensation of how your consciousness is disconnecting from your head. Don't forget to shut your mouth. Let yourself be guided by the wise old saying, your mind is actually a confirmation of the degeneracy of quantum mechanics. Let's make the environment disappear. Repeat this mantra to yourself. I'm sacred, I'm sacred, I'm sacred. Keep on breathing. Focus on your breathing. Feel the connection between you and everything around you. Can you feel how the thoughts in your head are transcending everything around you? Infomercials can inspire us to surrender what any decent person would think of as unsurrenderable. Try to free your belly button. Notice the sensation of how your intestines are terminating your spine. Quit shouting. Centuries ago, in ancient China, lived a bald-headed king who was on the lookout for a magical mushroom. That's when he came upon a pretty whore. Whore, where can a bald-headed king like myself find a magical mushroom? He asked the whore. The whore thought long and hard, then she answered, a magical mushroom is to be found the only place where you have not yet looked. The king walked away from the whore. Then he went home. The following winter when he was trimming his mother, the king came to the realization, much beloved is the student who gives up his man breasts. And then he gained immortality. Public education can be like a dungeon. It must be experienced. Inhale. And exhale. Everybody else see you as mean. Remember to tell yourself, my living matters. It's never too late to ask. Plan ahead. Don't just make art. Long ago, in ancient Rome, lived a hideous man who had his home in the desert. One day, a dragon slayer knocked on his door, and said, "Greetings, my good man, where can a dragon slayer like myself find food to eat?" The man kept quiet. "Why so strange?" asked the dragon slayer. "I was not strange," replied the man. After some thinking, the dragon slayer decided to become an ally to the man, and when he came home later that evening, he killed himself. Is it time to stop celebrating? Try to interact with someone that the world does not want you to interact with. To achieve the right state, contemplate these words of wisdom. In the city of gigolos, the genius is a professional.
Welcome to today's stream. I hope you're all feeling inspired. And I'm not going to enclose Inspire, but I will minimize it.
Oh shit, we're live. Oh crap. Okay, I guess I have to be more jovial.
At least present would be nice.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna, yes, how about, yes, yeah, we're gonna, yes, yeah, we're gonna do that, yeah.
I don't know if you realize, Dobbs, but Bitters is in the chat right now.
Oh, sorry, I mean, I didn't look at chat, he's
This is a bit of a big deal now. He was on the, on the Mongrel Court.
You know, Bitters is trying to coerce me into doing a ride along with the Liberty Reapers. How do you feel about that?
It just sounds like you're being baited into, what are you being thrown into the, what is it, Nope's bloody slave wagon or whatever he's got going?
Is that what it is?
Well, they're going to try and drag you over to Klesha, hang out with Reframe.
Whichever, man, I'm fucking down for it, I guess. Why not?
Yeah, we're in a bit of a doldrums at the moment, so morale's a bit low. But you would all know about that too. 318 is still in the wave 1 for PTU. We got Siege of Orison going still. And yeah. No word from CIG with regards to 318 going live. Anyway, let's get this reaction stream started. The first bit of content that we're actually reacting to is a Spectrum post, so I'm going to link that. Or actually, it's just all Spectrum posts today.
By the way, if you want some of your content to be reacted to on the channel, we have now, just as of last week, opened up a public server. So public server, I think, can be found in the description of this video, right, Agens? And if not, you can go visit the YouTube channel page, and there should be a link to take you right to the public server. And on that public server, you'll actually find a section of it that relates to Mongrel Squad's content. And if you have a piece of content that you would like to see reacted to on the channel, please do not hesitate to submit your content there, and it will be deliberated and chosen for the following reaction streams. So go ahead and join the public server.
Ace, thank you very much for the super chat there, mate. And just for those who are curious who aren't on the public server yet, That's the link there. It is not in the description of this video, but it is in the About Us of the channel page. But, yeah, I've already linked the Spectrum post, so if you want to read along, you can there, but we're going to switch over to this scene right here. Let's see if that's working. Of course it's not, because I need to make sure that I select the correct... that one. There we go. So, this one. CIG, please comment. Griefing Siege of Orison. Now, I don't know if you guys have realized, but since Siege of Orison has gone live, there's been an increase in complaints on Spectrum about griefing. The latest tactic is that people are essentially camping out the entrance for the shuttle that arrives, and they're just lobbing grenades into it before the people can even get out.
And let's give them a fucking round of applause. Be like those guys, chat. They're doing the Lord's work. Lord Chris Roberts. Oh, it's such a great time.
To be honest, like, I think it's just, like, I think this has only really happened, like, to a small group, and the same people from that group that were all together and griefed at the same time have decided to make their own Spectrum posts and kept them as general as possible so that they can actually, you know, make it seem like there's more going on than there actually is. Nope's no longer in Liberty Reapers. Oh no. That's alright, he's got plenty of friends. He's really good at making friends, so I don't think he'll have any problems. Alright, let's get cracking on with this post. One of the reasons why I actually why I picked this one was because they're asking for CIG to comment. And at the end, there is a comment there. This post has been edited by moderation and the user has been PM. So CIG did actually comment on it by moderating it and PMing the user. Or the
probably their
OP.
usual copy-paste message.
Yeah. This guy probably said something that CIG didn't like. So, let's get this started. I am seeking a dev or support response on this. There is still nothing done about people griefing the Siege of Orison entrance with grenade launchers, and it's been a year. Is anything done when these people are reported, or is this entirely a waste of time? It ruins the event for the entire server as no one is able to get in. Entire server is unable to play the event and nobody knows of anyone who was banned for it. This has to stop. These people are ruining your game. NPCs will not stop it. Disallowing only shooting into the shuttles will not stop it. Only a clear directive that it is against the terms of service to camp the shuttle platform and actual bans will do anything barring an actual change to the game, which I understand you're unlikely to do. Does CIG allow camping the shuttle platform, where explicitly is the limit? If the limit is the shuttle arm assist itself, then Siege can still easily be taken down for an entire server under the guise of legitimate PvP. A simple, painless policy statement that camping the shuttle platform is a violation of terms of service in that it denies access to the event entirely. And PvP engagements must be beyond X location beyond the shuttle platform, at least if this is not permitted. No code needed, no effort.
Fucking yawn.
But the real solution is just to allow players to fly their own ships, provided they have the mission. Make Solanke AA fairly weak, or not, we can make it anyway. And
Like,
poof,
that'll somehow make it any fucking better for you, dude. What the fuck are you
the
talking
problem
about?
is solved in an exciting way by making the shuttle not the only entry point. Yeah, like, you know what's gonna happen? They're just gonna be in ships instead. They don't need to fucking camp the shuttle point. You show up in a ship, they'll just shoot you down.
It's so stupid. Or they'll bring in A2 and they'll bomb the entire fucking platform. Yeah, that's legitimate PvP in your eyes, right? So fucking funny. Like, you serious?
Like, the solution to this problem, if there's a group that's locked down the bloody shuttle and you can't get onto the platform, change servers. It's annoying, but you can do it. This is like pad ramming. This is the fucking event equivalent of complaining about pad ramming. It's like, yeah, it's a shit thing to have happen, but you can work around it.
Or you could just do what they did with Jumptown and just make more than one entrance.
Well, yeah, like there's suggestions on that. We've even said this before in the past. You know, just add more areas where you can get it off at.
Or make the shuttles in such a way where you can choose the stop that you go to. Like on the beginning one, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different options that you have, but like fucking creating these soft limitations is really not going to do anything.
What they want CIG to sit there and say, if you're griefing and like doing this specific action is griefing. So like they're trying to get CIG to make a statement along the lines of like, attempting to do PvP for a PvE event is griefing. They're trying to get CIG to do that. And the reason why they want that to happen is so that they can then reference it, because this is a fucking PvP, this is a PvE player, obviously, that doesn't like PvP. They want to be able to reference that whenever they end up in some sort of argument against a PvP player and point and go, well, CIG says, you know, like they don't like PvP at all of their events, and here's an example of them telling people that they're going to get banned if they try and do PvP.
They don't even like PvP at fucking PvP events, bro.
Yeah, like Siege of Orison is a PvE based objective mission, but that doesn't mean that you can't do PvP there. It can still happen. But yeah, it's this guy is just, well, whoever this person is, like them wanting to be able to fly their own ship in. That's just not going to work. They'll get bloody shot down by not the AI, the AA. Like they'll get shot down by other players, and then they'll be back on Spectrum making a complaint saying, you know, can we make the AA target the bloody red guys instead, you know, so that they can't be there. It's just not going to work.
It's fucking Ninetales, dude. Like, we're gonna fucking shoot at everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
My God, dude, this pisses me off, man.
If this is legit gameplay and nothing is done or said about it, I'm going to get a lot more people to do it. If this isn't a ban-worthy offense, then there's nothing against myself or my org mates doing so. For those who call this PvP, I can't wait for you to be unable to get into Siege due to legitimate PvP. I'm going to see how many orgs I can get to do this legitimate PvP, so many are defending later this week across as many servers as we can, if it's affirmed this is legitimate. It'll be quite the YouTube montage of how wonderful Star Citizen is when legitimate PvP is allowed.
Cool. Have fun with that, man, because we've done the same thing and it's great. We hope you have the same amount of fun. Fucking moron.
Edit. I was not killed by an NPC. The player that killed me shows up in the vid so I can charge him. Well, they must add a video there and COG made him take it down or something.
They did, yeah.
I was naked and unarmed, going only to get video evidence after my squad had been killed at the shuttle exit. This place is ridiculous if the suspicion is on me and not the group of players obviously camping the shuttle and killing me as I'm coming off the shuttle. No, I also did not have a crime stat, as evident by the fact I'm prompted to charge the killer. Those asking about not having the mission are correct. I did not have the mission anymore. My mistake in not retaking it when I went back to get the video after my group was killed. When this group killed my squad arriving at siege with an onslaught of grenades, I was down and managed to escape to menu to save my gear, which in my opinion is entirely legitimate response to griefing because F them.
Oh, fuck off, dude. Oh, wow, I lost my fucking subscriber gear. Christ almighty, do you seriously have nothing fucking better to do?
I rejoined on my party members who weren't able to exit while down to come back for evidence and forgot I lose the mission after going to menu. Update, I was PM not to name the griefers. The PM didn't bother to address any of my questions, leaving me to believe this behaviour is acceptable. Thus, I'll be moving forward with my plans to camp as many servers as I can muster later this week while directing people to CIG support link. CIG take action and advise. You know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to ban this guy. They'll probably ban him for fucking organising this. If they actually manage to achieve anything.
No. There's way too many fucking servers out there. Way too many shards. So it's like, you'll do this maybe on like 10% of the servers, and while everyone else gets to enjoy their time. Yeah, dude, you're really making a difference. You're really fucking rebelling against the system. You're really going to facilitate fucking change. Good on you, bro. Have fucking fun.
Like... Oh god. Like, it sucks. Yeah, you got smashed before you even got to bloody walk off the shuttle. This is not a fucking new thing. CIG must be okay with it to a certain degree. You know, like
he even said that this has taken a year. Have you ever considered that since this has taken a year, after they've already made preventative measures towards it, that they're not going to do anything else?
Yeah. The thing about this is, like, you know, him and his friends got killed. Okay, jump servers. The post, in the sense of like giving feedback on the event, hey, you know, like, it's the shuttle points are too much of a choke point for, you know, a team to be able to get off, to be able to, you know, even start the fight.
God, how the fuck do you think boarding a ship where every fucking hallway and threshold is a choke point? Do you see us fucking complaining about that? No, we just have to fucking deal with it.
This is that situation where, you know, like, the game's not finished yet. I'm just gonna wait. Deal with it, you know? Like, I'd say good on them if they're gonna go, you know, go red and bloody spawn camp the fucking shuttles. Because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna do that, and then they're gonna learn how to combat it. They'll be like, oh, this isn't actually that easy to do. I'm just going down into the comments because, like, they did get CIG did contact them. I don't know. I haven't really, like, They create content and enjoy it. I love camping.
I found it.
The Council of Griefer Management is a proud supporter of the Nine Tails incursion, and all affiliates are asked to blockade the platforms by all means necessary. What'd you find, Dobbs?
Sunny commented on this post, and it's like fucking 80% of the way down this thread.
Really?
They said, yeah, said you're welcome to have disagreements or to argue. You're welcome to have disagreements or argue your points. Let's just aim to keep the discussion friendly and healthy, please.
That's bullshit. I've had posts closed faster. The CIG doesn't even step in. It's like they literally come in and go, yeah, we're stopping this conversation now.
Fucking Tesseract has commented on this thread too. He's just like deep and infested in the fucking replies. Oh yeah, here's fucking Shankers too. Christ almighty, this guy can never escape this guy, no matter what fucking post I look at.
Like, yeah. It's the same complaint. Same complaint that, you know, has been around for Siege of Orison for ages. And now he's in this part here, he's getting into an argument. So Sir Gara, what are you doing in a war zone naked and unarmed? Seems like even if you wanted, you could not have fought back. In a PvA game, you are responsible for your own actions and safety. Next. Contacts added to the original post came armed with a squad of 7, killed right at the shuttle exit. I exited a menu and managed to save my gear, rejoined on my party, and returned naked to get the video of them camping the shuttle. Ironically, there's actually quite a lot of video content out there already of people doing this. You exited the menu to save your gear while your friends lay bleeding on the floor? Remind me not to party with you. Again, the guy did nothing wrong. He used a choke point, to gain advantage. Can CIG change the situation? Probably. Add a roof or something like that so you have multiple exits. Again, I find exiting to save your gear on the same level as Alt F4 in a battle. I would not report you for it, but it's also not very nice. Why don't you take another approach? Learn from your mistakes. If it's been a year already that you know about it, don't you feel silly that you still fall for the same trick? 100%. 100%.
Like, you're not, if you have a weapon on you, it's not like you're totally defenseless. And it's like, if you go there enough, you know exactly where people can hide, or like the best place for people to hide to get a good vantage point on the fucking shuttle door. And if you know that, you know where to look, and if you know where to look, you know where to shoot, because they're going to fucking be there. And it's like, to say that it's completely like, yeah, the odds are stacked against you, granted, but it's not impossible. I've gotten through those choke points when people are trying to camp it.
But Dobbs, don't you understand? It's like in karate when they say go. You can't attack them until they're ready. And they didn't hear go.
Are you okay? Aren't I the one that usually plays devil's advocate? What's the matter with you?
You sounded too depressed at the start, so I'm chiming in. But yeah, the like, it's a fair point. Like, fucking, if you've known about this, why the fuck aren't you ready for it? Thanks, Space Dude. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Taking advantage of choke points. No, like they're not. You're not supposed to. Oh no, that's Nelson. Taking advantage of choke points.
No, it's the same thing.
All I can say is just eat a bag of dicks, man. Just devil's advocate. Ironically, that's their name. Just eat a bag of dicks. You and your squad of 7 were fucking, smashed because you all decided to stand around. You thumbs up your ass when you're about to go into a war zone because reasons. Especially when you know that it could be a potential PvP
because
zone.
You want to have a nice good time and relax to do some PvE missions, and you don't realize that you're in a PvA environment no matter where the fuck you go.
The other side of it though is like wait until the server tick rate is higher and the AI aren't fucking retarded. Like I did Siege of Orison. What was it, a couple of days ago? I died more to bugs. Actually, no, I only died once, and that's because I flew a Pisces into an AA zone. I almost made it. I landed, but I forgot that there was AA and elevation to me, and they just rained death down on me before I could get out. But running through, like, every time that I went through and I got to the same, points within Siege of Orison, the AI were just standing there, staring at me.
Like this guy doesn't even realize too the amount of choke points that are also there, even on the fucking platforms. Like, do you guys know that there's fucking elevators on Siege of Orison, and those are probably the only means of traversal that you can get to the next area? You realize those are choke points too? Nobody fucking complains about that.
It's because
same thing about the other shuttles.
There. We're not getting killed there by players yet. Like the other solution.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. It's like there are choke points fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can avoid, or you could just scream at CIG and be like, please.
I made that comment though about the whole this is a PvE post, trying to get PvP, scenarios banned. Because the point that you're bringing up, like there's choke points everywhere. And it's like, oh yeah, well, make it a limit up to a certain point. You can't attack players, and then after that point you can. It's like, okay, cool. I'll just wait at the fucking first choke point beyond that point, and then when you and your friends come up through that elevator, I'll just pop a grenade in there. And then you'll cry again, Alt F4 to save your gear. And then you'll come back naked to, film footage of me doing the exact same thing to you again. Like it's quite, it's a clear attempt of them trying to get CIG to commit to making a statement saying that PvP is not allowed at this PvE event, which they've done in the past where they're like, what was it, Xenothreat, where they've discouraged PvP. Like they say, we actively discourage PvP there. They're not going to stop people from doing it, but they say, they make it clear, like it's a PvE event, which is why there's no bloody Xenothreat side that you can join. Not like Ninetales Lockdown.
Yeah, and that's that's fine. That's all fine. That's all well and good. But they're not going to stop people from engaging in PvP, which is what this fucking guy wants.
Yep. 100%, man. They're trying to make it out like they're going to be able to make a change.
Yeah, they're fighting for the fucking little guy, man. They're fucking rebels. We want our fucking safe PvE zone where no fucking griefers are allowed, man. Fucking grow up, dude. Minute for the fucking little guy.
Big Jono commented here, I ran across a guy who had donned the armor and weapon from a Ninetales Heavy and had not accepted the mission, so had no marker. People were shooting him by mistake and he was giving them all a crime stat. I even used my med gun to res him when I realized he was a player. If I'd known he would give me a crime stat, I would have left him incapacitated. I ended up with how I hurt Klesha with no head, no mining tool, and no Moby Glass. In this game, the line between griefing and just being dumb is grey. That's brilliant. That's even better than killing them all at once, because what you can do is you can get them to shoot you. Your friends accept called arms.
That's arguably worse, because then you end up with a fucking crime stat. But are people complaining about this? No one's fucking complaining about this.
That's because it's not happening enough. Like that's really the way that you should be doing bloody Siege of Orison. Like you stay blue the whole time.
Oh yeah, take notes, guys. Seriously, take notes. Because I want, like, you guys in chat, I want you to do this. I want you to do this in Siege. Because I want to see people complain about this, and I want to laugh at it, because I'm not in the best of moods today, so I want to see something that'll make me laugh. So I'm counting on you, chat. Okay, can you do this for me, this favor? Okay, I already do a lot for you with you know, agents and everything. I try my best, so I would just appreciate this little one, you know. Thank you.
It's fucking hilarious. That's brilliant. Like, it sucks that he ended up in Clash with no head and no mining tool and no Moby Glass, but you know, it's fucking Star Citizen shit happens. But you know, like, the best part is like CIG tried helping players out by going, okay, all the friendlies have blue markers over their heads, but the only way you can be denoted as a friendly is if you accept the mission. So if you don't accept the mission, run around as a fucking lawful player without accepting the mission in the enemy armor. You can give other people crime stats. The best part about this is like, you give them a crime stat and then one of your other mates just slots them and sends them to Klesha. And they get paid to do it too. Fuck. This is like, whoever was, doing PvP and killing people at the shuttles is doing it all wrong. They're not trying to grief people.
They're trying to save. Yeah, they're trying to save it from that guy.
Yeah, they're trying to save it from old mate running around. They were doing him a favor.
Shit, dude. This is like one of those moments in like a show or an anime where you realize that the villain was actually the good guy all along. Like, like anybody else getting chills? Is it just me? I think that's crazy, chat. Thoughts on that?
You need a soundboard to proxy some of the banter from the Ninetales too? Yes. Just play the Ninetales audio over VoIP, proximity VoIP.
Son of a bitch.
And just have the... Oh man. It's too good. We need to try this for testing reasons. We need to test this.
For testing reasons.
All right.
Do we stream on Twitch? No, we don't stream on Twitch, but we do have, there are some members of Mongrel Squad that stream independently on Twitch, so if you find them, tell them that Dobbs sent you.
They're actually linked as channel links on the YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube channel there, and then you can find their Twitch channel based on that.
Oh god. Way to just give them the fucking medal, agents. Like, Christ almighty, I was trying to, like, at least create some kind of whatever.
Gave them the starting point, Dobbs. Unfortunately, this will continue to happen until there are more serious penalties for killing other players other than mining a couple of rocks for 15 minutes or 5 minutes of Super Mario Oxygen missions. I like that name for the oxygen missions. Super Mario Oxygen missions. One of the devs literally stated on an ISC or SCL, can't remember which one, it's griefing if directly off the shuttle. While I disagree with him, this was straight from a talking head at CIG. That's news to me. This is why weapons locked armistice zones are a bad idea. You used to be able to pull your weapons out in the shuttle and they set the armistice zone to a hard one until you stepped off, because people were just, you know, throwing grenades and gunning down the, like, they'd go to the back, wait until they got close and the armistice zone disappeared, and they just threw a grenade at them and just mowed them down with a bloody FS9.
Yeah, it was a fucking firing squad. It was amazing. I miss that. Cause literally, like, you know, like in those westerns, like right outside the saloon, like you got those two cowboys just fucking standing about 50 yards from each other with fucking their fingers touching their, you know, weapon. It's like that was the exact vibe. Like, cause you had one group of people on one end of the shuttle, and you had another group of people at the other end of the shuttle, and everyone was just staring at each other, just fucking staring at each other, helmet wiping and everything, right? And then they were just waiting for the moment the fucking armistice zone is lifted. Mind you, we're still like 5 clicks from the fucking platform. Shuttle gets lifted, everyone's weapons go up, and then whatever happens, happens. Those were good times, man. That was good times.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it doesn't get any better than that. You're stuck in a box with people that you don't know, strangers, and this could be survival of the fittest. I don't know, maybe I'm just a fucking glutton for punishment.
This vote here, 99 upvotes. The fact I'm seeing it's just PvP from several folks has me questioning the mental state of the average Spectrum user. The issue here is shit game design. CIG somehow couldn't foresee an issue with making a singular, easily campable entry choke point to a server-wide event outside of Armist.
Yeah, let's just remove any and all fucking choke points anywhere. That's the solution, guys.
Anywhere. Just an open, flat plain, no buildings, no nothing. The most that you can have is rocks, and they need to be, you know, spaced in a way that you don't get, you know, that they don't channel you into any sort of, you know, movement.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, guys, but choke point equals bad game design. That's just how it is, I guess. Fuck, dude, like,
there's not enough Picard palms on this. Not enough Picard palms. Oh, apparently there was a video with this. They must have removed it, which is kind of weird.
I think I remember seeing it. Like, I saw this post like a couple of days ago or whatever, but apparently we have poor mental health for disagreeing.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why a lot of PvP players don't like going onto Spectrum, because when things like this get upvoted that much, a lot of them are just like, I can't make any sort of, you know, points here because I'm just going to get shouted down by a fucking mob of PvE players. Or just people who, you know, are too sheltered. That's what it is. Like, they're just sheltered from a gameplay perspective. No, you're right, Warhead. The issue isn't the choke point in the game. The issue is the choke point in their state of mind when it comes to playing video games. They have a literal mental choke point when it comes to any sort of like cognitive thought on how to overcome challenges that involve other players.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, these are the type of people that would, like, go to a bar citizen, and if they discovered that somebody at that bar citizen was like a PvP player, they would like shudder and shake in fear or absolute disgust that this person exists and out in the real world. Like how are you a real person? You were talking about PvP on Spectrum. You can't be fucking a normal functioning member of society. That's fucking impossible.
That just spit on you. That's why some of the PvP players don't show their face. Because they're like, I don't want to get stabbed when I go to CitizenCon. Like, it's actually like, we joke about it, but it's, you know, a possibility that, you know, Star Citizen ends up in that position where there are some people that take it that seriously that, you know, they're willing to go that far. You know, you upset them that much.
Yeah, you realize that we've gotten fucking actual death threats towards our families from the supposed nice corner of this fucking community. These PvE players that are so tolerant, that want nothing but a friendly encounter with other players. Meanwhile, they're saying that shit to people that are just playing the game the way that they fucking want. Cool. That's real nice, guys. That's real fucking nice. Yeah, we just want to create a nice space for everyone to play and enjoy, and no one's fucking bothering each other. Then I'm gonna turn around and wish that you and your entire family fucking dies in a house fire. Or I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna fucking slit your throat while you sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, guy.
Thanks,
that's real
man.
Tolerant. That's real friendly.
It's actually one of the reasons why, I don't know, if you've watched our MPA episodes, you'll see a recurring clip that pops up when we're talking about extortion or ransom. There's a reason why we show that same clip over and over again. It's to prep you mentally so that you know what type of shit people are going to say.
Yeah, what was that? I don't know. I don't remember the exact clip, but I think it's someone saying like, "I hope someone kills you in your sleep." All because we took his spaceship in Star Citizen.
PvEs only want to PvP in real life, it seems.
Yeah, they all have no problem PvPing in real life, I guess. Jeez, man.
Like MPA episodes. It's in quite a few of them. Anyway, I think we spent enough time on this.
One dude fucking demanded that I fucking lick his asshole because I tried to give him his shit back. Kind of weird.
Maybe he was hoping you were into that type of thing.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I'll never know.
Alrighty then. So yeah. Kayakin was asked to touch a woman for once in your life.
I'm pretty sure that was recent.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure I saw the post in chat the other day. The fucking global chat. People say the darndest things.
It's funny, like it's immediately like it's space dads that are mainly the people that do this. PvE space dads who will immediately start, you know, like with the insults along the lines of you must be a virgin, basement dweller, 12 years old, bloody, you know, have never touched a woman, have no life, haven't succeeded anywhere, you know, got bullied at school and now you're just taking it out on the rest of the world. 9 times out of 10, the people there are just the same as them. Like, I'm a space dad to a certain degree. Not as bad as those ones though. Nowhere near it. Like, I can understand people getting upset when they lose, when they get killed in a gunfight. Well, you know, like the amount of time that it takes to get somewhere. You know, and then you get reset. But one of the things that I learnt a long time ago now was to laugh at that shit. You know, all that time and effort you get to, you're finally there, because it happened to me so many times. You get to where you're about to start and you're like, yep, sweet. 2 seconds in, you die, and you got to go back all the way through that again. And it's annoying. It is. But it's also funny. Because one day it won't fucking matter. And at the end of the day, all we're doing is playing a video game. Alright, we're going to move on to the next bit of content here. So, the next bit of content is, well, we're pretty sure that it was based on the conversation, or last week's reaction and rant, and it came about because of a discussion on self-destruct.
Uh-oh, can't wait to fucking see this one.
It's a pretty short one. You may recognize the name, they're on the public server as well.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually spoke with the OP. a week or two ago in there.
So there it is there. Self-destruct is a useless feature. Change my mind, by Eddie Rocksteady. Hello, Eddie. He drops into the chat every now and again. But yeah, I believe this was based on a last week's reaction stream, so here we go. Bear with me for a second. The timing was impeccable then.
It was just impeccable timing.
Bear with me for a second. In the old days, it was a very useful feature. You get tagged, the adrenaline spikes, and you know you're under the gun. You weigh your options carefully, cannot run, cannot hide, and cannot allow your cargo to fall into the wrong hands. You toggle the self-destruct, get out of the chair, arm up, and try and fight your way out. The pie rats, or puppy pack, that's us by the way, Mongrel Squad, we're the puppy pack. On the other hand, are trying to fight their way in, board your vessel, and terminate the self-destruct sequence. It's a tense scenario. Who will succeed? It's touch and go, the adrenaline dump worth the squeeze. Fast forward to 318. Self-destruct is interrupted by soft death.
That's right.
No more tense / against the clock scenarios and gameplay. Throw a half-second burst of ballistics to anything with thrusters and poof, soft death ensues.
Goddamn right.
I doubt a pilot even has the time to contemplate hitting the self-destruct tab before he / she finds themselves in a floating dystopia wondering how the hell that happened so fast.
I'd argue that's the point.
Question is thus, why even bother with the self-destruct mechanic as it relates to combat scenarios when soft death effectively interrupts it 100% of the time?
Here's the thing, like the whole issue with, like, you know, self-destruct being this cool thing. It's like, oh wow, it's like this huge, like, intense back and forth. Like, what's gonna happen? Is the ship gonna blow up, or are they gonna disable it? Like, I'm on board with that happening, but the fact of the matter is, like, with the way that self-destruct has been all the way up until this point, it's not been that. It's more, it's been more of just a fucking
annoyance because literally the time window that you have is so incredibly fucking short. The longest one that there is, I believe, all the way up until 317 is 60 seconds. That's all you have. And the vast majority of piracy hits you don't get on board that ship within 60 seconds. More like 20 minutes. Between 10 to 20 minutes. That's normally how long it takes. And then that gives them plenty of time to, to hit that button at any point. 1 minute later, it blows up, and then there's absolutely zero counter to it. There's no indication that it's happening unless you're in the seat or near it at the very least. There's no other indication for it. There's no way to counter it apart from actually getting in the seat. And I'm on board with self-destruct being in the game. I want it to be in the game. I want it to be a thing, and I want what this person suggests as that sort of tense factor that's up in the air, and somebody has to stop it. It's a back and forth to get it. Like, I want that, but the way it is now, it fucking sucks, and it's useless, and it's pointless, and it's annoying, and it's actually used as a means to get out of the encounter, and it's borderline exploity than anything else. Because here's the thing. I'm more than willing to have self-destruct be looked at and overhauled, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to say who, but somebody called self-destruct a griefing tool. I'm not going to say who it was, but I think that that's great. But here's the thing. If they increased the timers, right, on self-destruct, and they made it more of an active process where instead of having to push a button, you have to get up out of your seat, you have to go over to the power plants, you have to cut a few wires, you have to do whatever. Because if there are like steps that you have to take to pull it off, that then opens up counterplay for anyone that is boarding the ship to be able to stop that. Like if they go to the power plant and like overload it or whatever, pirates can go over to that and try to counter that. Like there are so many things that they're like, I'm not even scratching the surface of the possibilities that can be done with the concept of a self-destruct mechanic, but it needs to be so much more than it is now.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem, though, that we've got here is that self-destruct as a mechanic has just been a band-aid solution since 3.0 went live. Like really, the self-destruct mechanic wasn't put in so that people could just, give pirates a big fuck you before they blew their ship up. It was so that if your ship ever got stuck somewhere and you couldn't recover it and you couldn't do anything with it, you could just destroy it. That was it. It was a technical implementation so that you could get rid of that ship. And then people just, obviously use it as a self-destruct mechanic to give pirates a big fuck you. I'm in agreement with Dobbs. I'm okay with there being self-destruct in the game. But the current implementation of it isn't conducive to, piracy gameplay or any sort of boarding-based gameplay. Now that CIG's addressed combat logging to the point of where, like, those who are being attacked by pirates, they can't Alt F4 out and just, their ship disappears immediately. They can't jump into the ship's bed.
Here's the thing, too.
And get out of the encounter.
Here's the thing, too. It's like self-destruct, like with the way that works, self-destruct should be a very tough decision. Okay? Because with the way that it works and all of its supporting systems, we can talk about insurance, we can talk about components, we can talk about all of the supporting stuff that would make it tougher, but it needs to be a last resort rather than option number one. Because here's the way that I see it happening, right? Here's the way that I see the preventative measures and the decision-making process from a target's point of view. Let's say you have a trade ship filled with quant or whatever, like any sort of high value commodity on your ship. You have a crew on board, turret gunners, guards, you have escorts, you've taken preventative measures to take the appropriate routes to get where you want safely. All of that's been done, right?
let's say you actually do end up getting taken out by pirates, or you end up getting caught by pirates, excuse me. The first decision is like, okay, we need our escorts to go deal with this. So then they go deal with it. Then it comes out that their escorts were destroyed. Okay, next decision. Now we have to get our crew into the turrets, so the ship can actually defend itself against pirates before they even get a chance to board. Now the ship gets bricked or disabled and stopped or whatever, by whatever means. Okay, next decision point. The fucking crew that we have on board is going to do whatever we fucking can to thwart the boarding action and give us enough time to where we can actually call for reinforcements and have more people come in to give us help. Okay, then the boarding action begins to fail, or the defense of the boarding action begins to fail. That is the point where you can then decide, okay, there's probably no way or no other means that I can secure to defend this ship and my stuff. So if I'm going to go down, I'm going to make sure the ship goes down with it. Then you would consider self-destructing the ship and going through that process. Because here's the thing, with the way that I said with, like, you know, especially with cargo missions and everything, with the way that it's going to affect reputation, if you self-destruct your ship, then it's an automatic mission failure. And, you know, insurance claims go up, fucking reputation goes down, etc., etc. So that's a big decision, and you only do it at your own discretion as a last resort. And if you feel like you want to just do a big fuck you to the pirates, then you can absolutely do that. But keep in mind is that when you do that, there's also going to be a way for the pirates to counter it. Okay? So that is like, that's the line, that's like the mental timeline that you have to go through, and the decision-making process that should happen from a pure gameplay perspective.
So chat's continued on with the conversation as well. It's more or less that we're still missing mechanics. We're still missing, you know, the consequences of action, because we're still in the technical building phase of Star Citizen. Like, self-destruct is just going to be one of those things where it's just going to suck for a while, and CIG is going to band-aid solutions. And, you know, like, Mark Aben asked, you know, like, whether or not soft death should stop self-destruct. And I ended up making the point, you know, replying to him, like, if you allow self-destruct to continue after soft death, you essentially made soft death redundant. Like, it's a pointless thing to add. Like, self-destruct is the next thing that people will do. You know, if they can't Alt F4 out, if they can't bedlog and save their stuff, you know, they will, if they can't win, they will make sure that we lose, and in their eyes, us not getting 100% or whatever we're trying to achieve is a win for them. You can't really combat that mentality with what we currently have. There's nothing that you can do. If you tried doing that in 3.17, like, soft death doesn't exist, but your self-destruct will still work after you disable a ship. And the thing about that is that I'm okay with people, you know, trying to deny us as much as possible. What I'm not okay with is that the game doesn't give us the tools to be able to give us a chance of being able to counter that. And that's really what we want here. And that's what CIG gave us with the whole soft death, you know, stopping self-destruct. They gave us a tool. To be honest, the majority of us in Mongrel Squad want to continue using distortion damage. But our, you know, experience over the last 12 months, especially over the last 12 months now, with the way that piracy encounters have gone, is that the majority of the players that we've pirated have used exploits to get out of the experience. Like, they've used Alt F4 and they've used bloody bedlogging to escape so that they got to keep all their shit. And there was absolutely nothing that we could do about it. It didn't matter how many people we had there. It didn't matter how many EMPs we used. You know, it didn't matter how much we trained. It didn't matter how many times we tried calling them. There was absolutely nothing that we could do about it. We would put all this time and preparation into, you know, setting ourselves up for success, and it was just all undone because somebody exploited game mechanics in a way that they weren't supposed to be used. Jack O'Neill. Why should you have a chance? It should be hard for you. If that's what you guys want to do, it should be harder in my book. You have no fucking idea about piracy gameplay. I will tell you that right now. 318 has simplified piracy gameplay.
And also, did you hear what I mentioned earlier about the whole like thought process and decision making from the target's point of view? It's like, do you realize like everything that I just mentioned is what makes it harder, because first we have to find it or find the target, then we have to go through its escorts, then we have to go through its turret gunners to disable the ship, then we have to board the ship and fight whatever crew is on board, then once we have the ship we have to move the cargo from that ship to our own, whilst handling with any sort of resistance that comes in after the fact to try to cause trouble, all for the simple sake of taking that prize. So yeah, to answer your question, sir, yes, it is hard for us. And Agent said, yes, piracy has been made easier. The barrier of entry has been made easier. It's been made easier for the simple fact that soft death is in the game, and it's put in the way that it's put in. The process of disabling the ship specifically has been made easier, whilst the rest of it is essentially more of the same. And actually, it could be argued that it's been made harder due to the fact that, you know, with the way that piracy is going to change, crime stats are going to be a lot more rampant, and it's going to push pirates away from doing hits at comrade range, and not to mention the stuff with the beacons. I don't even want to fucking touch on the beacons. Like, it is stupidly easy for people to return to their ship and cause trouble. So the fact that, like, the notion that overall it's easier for us, it's honestly dumb. The only thing that's gotten easier is the process of disabling ships. The rest of it is still probably the most challenging part of the gameplay. So to say that it should be hard for us, it already fucking is, man.
Like, the thing about this conversation,
just to be clear, I'm okay with that.
With regards to, like, you know, the difficulty of piracy and people not wanting to, you know, give us anything. Like, I don't play Star Citizen for your enjoyment. I couldn't give a flying fuck about you, the target. So if you decide to self-destruct and, you know, blow your ship up, cool. You do you. If that makes you feel better about yourself, cool. We'll just log your name, and the next time that we see you, if we see you before you see us, we'll just soft death your ship. We will strike in a way that you won't be able to do the thing that you want to do, and then we'll take what we want anyway. My perspective is that, and this applies to every single person who plays Star Citizen or any video game, you buy the game for your own enjoyment. That's it.
Agents.
It's your entertainment.
Agents, looking where it comes.
Wrong server. Ah, yeah, Tumblerino was bringing that up too. Oh, Jack O'Neill. Yes, he's on probation. That's okay. It's okay. Like, Jack, you come in here, mate.
Well, at least you're able to speak your mind in here, and I admire that.
Like, it's that situation where I'm okay with people coming here to tell us that they don't like what we do, and they're going to try and make us feel bad, and, you know, tell us things that we probably, you know, that they think that we haven't heard before. You might as well scream at the wind, mate. We've heard it all before. You haven't really gone too far into the swearing territory, even though moderation tool has picked up on it. But the fact of the matter is like, you know, we've been called worse things, been told worse stuff. You know, we've been told that we'll go to jail in real life in certain countries if we pirate them in game.
Yeah, I remember that comment. Like, pirating people in a video game is equivalent to an offense in real life and is subject to substantial prison time. Can you believe that, guys? Wrap it up, guys. We're all going to jail, apparently.
Yeah, I remember that. See, I'm okay with the whole, you know, like, people fighting back. In fact, I want people to do that. I am 100% okay with that. And a lot of people in Mongrel Squad want that too.
That's what we're trying to encourage here.
Yeah.
Like, fucking A. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on stream and I'm fucking telling people, I'm encouraging people, even people that make posts like this, please, fight back. Just don't be stupid about it.
Yeah. If you want to self-destruct a ship, go nuts. You know, fight us off. We'll try and make sure, like, you know, we're going to do our due diligence and try and get onto that ship and turn that self-destruct off. But, you know, we don't like that self-destruct to shut off by soft death, not because it makes our job easier. We don't like it because it made distortion damage less viable, which we believe has a higher skill level required to use properly. We don't like the current self-destruct mechanics because it's just a button press and it doesn't require much skill. The person that we're pirating, you know, instead of it being, as Dobbs pointed out, as the last, you know, resort, as the last, you know, process in, you know, combating piracy or combating an attack, it's the first choice that people are going to make. It's like, oh, I'm not going to win this fight, and they instantly press the button. 60 seconds later, boom. It's like, during that time, what are we supposed to do? Like, we've got no notifications. We don't get told what's going on. And we've, you know, told CIG, hey, like, we don't want you to remove self-destruct. We just want you to make it, you know, we just want you to work on it and make it more viable, you know, in terms of gameplay. So, you know, like, make it take more effort to turn on. Make it more consequential to use from the, you know, perspective of, I don't want to let this stuff fall in the other person's hands. You know, like, if you're initiating self-destruct and you're going to scuttle the ship, that should actually mean something. You know, like CIG has talked about, you know, like death of a spaceman and, you know, like in-game actions having, you know, like consequences to your character and reputation and, you know, the paths that you take in the game as you progress through the verse. That it's supposed to be impactful. So, you know, like pressing a button, your ship exploding, and then you just go to the, you know, ASOP terminal, reclaim the ship, and then, you know, you got your ship back. No reputation hit. You lost all your cargo, but it's your cargo. You do with it whatever the fuck you want. You want to destroy it in front of pirates, fine. You made that decision, not the pirates. But the thing about this is like, it doesn't encourage gameplay with the current iteration, and that's what needs to change. Is like, you know, self-destruct is a useless feature. Technically, it's not even, you know, being used correctly.
It wasn't put in for that purpose either.
Yeah, it wasn't put in for the purpose of what's described here. It's used like that to a certain degree. However, you know, like, it's actually for a technical reason. You know, they added self-destruct so that you could get rid of a ship. if you couldn't do anything with it. If it got stuck somewhere or something like that. And, you know, people used it for denying other players. It just needs more work. That's it. And it's not a priority. But, yeah, like, what can we do about it? Not much at the moment. You know, provide suggestions and wait for CIG to get around to it. Here we go. Another person. Anything that denies pirates their win is good. But let me guess, you don't want to have to do anything. You simply want the game to be built in a way that prevents them from attacking you, doing all the preventative work for you.
Like, they just want to make it easy. They just want to make it so easy. Like, I don't think people realize how unbalanced it is for a single person to be able to thwart an entire group of people that prepared themselves to do something against that one player. It's like, yeah, if you're caught by yourself by a group of players, the probability of you escaping that encounter is very slim, which is why we encourage people to group the fuck up, join orgs, play together, create convoys, do things like that.
We've been giving the solutions to beat us for years, and people keep ignoring us because it's not viable. It's not viable. It takes more fucking effort. Yeah, for me, space trucking is fun.
Let's just create a fucking tool that single players can use to get up literally everything. Nothing can be done to counter it. That's
I don't need
game design, guys.
Yeah, I don't need to.
Game design.
I want the game to, you know, facilitate me not doing any sort of preparation so that if I get attacked, I can get out of the scenario 100% of the time. That is bullshit. I always laugh when people sit there and go, you know, complain about us showing up with 6 people to pirate one person, and it's like, if you knew what it took to actually do this right, you would understand why we're bringing that many people. Alright, this goes into a bit more of a discussion I'm not really willing to go into. Like, we just gotta wait for more of the game to flesh out. That's the thing. Self-destruct is a useless feature? Not really.
Just to be clear, like, I want this to be difficult, right? Like, with just piracy in general, I want it to be hard because I like something that challenges me. And everyone in Mongrel Squad would agree. It's like we're all here because this is something that's challenging, and it takes a lot of effort and training to be able to pull it off, right? And we want, you know, measures that, like, we want obstacles that we have to overcome, and we want things to be harder. We want things to, we want players to take initiative and be supported by game mechanics to where things like super massive fucking treasure fleets and convoys with escorts and everything, like, that's something that I want from this, and that is infinitely more challenging than somebody just having a fucking I win button in the pilot seat whenever they see fucking red on their radar. I shouldn't have to explain why one is better than the other. But here I am.
It's going to improve. It will get better. Just not at the pace that we want it to happen at. And there's nothing that we can really do about that.
Yeah, why don't we let Jack join the public server? You can find the link to our public server on the homepage of our YouTube channel. Maybe we can continue the discussion in there. Love to have you.
I really need to get a bot set up so that I can just post that message. Yeah, I've just grabbed the invite link. It's an invite link to our public server. Feel free to join. We don't mind having conversations like that. That said, if you're just there to troll and be a dickhead, we'll just boot you. We also have no problems kicking anybody from our public server either. Alright. I think that's enough of this one. We actually managed to drag that one out for a fair bit. Marcus Williams. There's literally no tools to properly combat piracy in SC gameplay wise, and that's CIG's fault. I hate piracy being enabled in a friggin' alpha to begin with, but players need tools to fight it. Oh, mate. If you press left click, then you can fire weapons. But Hannah, it only works if you've got a weapon out. So, yeah. Oh, man. There's more in this game that you can use to combat piracy than just shooting weapons. And what
I can think of half a dozen right off the top of my head, and I'm not even focused.
The fact of the matter is that you're gonna have to be a bit more resolute in your efforts to combat piracy, but you have enough tools to do it. And funnily enough, you will probably see video footage of Mongrel Squad fighting off other pirates coming in 318. And we will be doing the things that we tell other people on, that you need to do to be able to beat pirates, especially after we secure a prize, because guess what we've got to fucking do with all that cargo? Got to move it. So if we're moving that cargo, what are we doing? We're hauling it like a fucking cargo hauler. So what are we going to have to protect it from other pirates that are going to try and take it from us? Turret gunners and escorts. Do you know why? Because they fucking work.
Oh no, we're sociopaths, Agens. We've been called sociopaths again.
Oh, here we go.
No, dude, no, we're not sociopaths, man. That's just not a nice, that's not a nice thing. Like this is literally, what did I say earlier? What did I say earlier, Agens?
Well, this is the type of stuff that we hear a lot.
No, this is coming from the so-called the friendly and tolerant half of the Star Citizen community. They just want their beautiful space where everyone can live in peace and harmony and be inclusive. And then they come into stream chats like this and call us sociopaths and somehow mentally inebriated because we want to play the video game a certain way. It's very tolerant of you. Very, very tolerant of you. Very friendly, very peaceful. I get it.
Hex, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. We really appreciate it. And I tend to agree. Or I think maybe they learnt a new word. Word of the day today, sociopath. It's on the calendar. Thank you, Space Dude, for the super chat as well, man. Doubling up.
07. Yeah, 07's in the chat if you're a fucking sociopath.
I've literally watched you guys laugh while killing players. Yes, we've done that quite a few times.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's fucking funny. That's why it's funny. That's why we laugh. Because it's fucking funny. And like you're making this sound like if we kill a player in a video game, then we kill them in real life. And you're like I can tell
Dobbs,
that you're sort of making that comparison.
No, but Dobbs, have you actually checked?
That is disgusting and it's offensive, and I want you to know that, just to be clear, okay?
I don't know about you, Dobbs, but I've never actually checked.
You've never checked? What do you mean
No,
you've never checked?
I've never checked that killing a person in a game kills them in real life as well.
Oh,
I've just assumed because I've been killed in the game and I've died to NPCs and to other players and I didn't die in real life, that the same happened to them. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the same case for them, but it might not be. Maybe we are actually killing people in real life, Dobbs, and we just don't know.
Do you think when the Apollo triage releases, pirates will have to use it for a mobile respawn? I'm gonna tell you this: when the Cutlass Red, like before 3.15, right, prior to 3.15, we were actually using the Cutlass Red as a mobile respawn, because back then you were able to actually set your spawn on the Cutlass Red. You were able to die multiple times wherever you want, as long as you were close enough to it, and you would respawn with all your gear in that bed, and you'd be able to fucking go out and do whatever you need to again. So like, yeah, we already used that, and with the way that things are working now, is that, like, for instance, if we used the Apollo triage as a mobile respawn event, not only would it need to be a medical ship, it would also need to be essentially an armory, because instead of your Marines or people that you're using for ground combat, instead of them responding with all your gear and this magical bag of holding that Chris Roberts essentially liked to call it, we actually now have physical inventories where once you die with something, it doesn't come with you when you respawn. So you would also need to have
full.
True. You would also need to have a lot of weaponry and armor and magazines, consumables and non-consumables, everything. So as soon as someone respawns, they can go to the lockers or whatever boxes you have. They can get up and they can go out and do it again. So are we going to use it? Maybe. But for others that want to use it, it'll depend on the resources that you have and the kind of things that you want to do, and yeah. So
thank you for the super chat there, Blake.
I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna say anything until we have it, but it's certainly a possibility at this time, just like everything. So
Alright, here's a point. I'm going to address this and then we're going to move on. Marcus Williams says, you guys are complaining that you spend effort and time coordinating to do your gameplay and are now complaining that players who self-destruct as their only tool against you is a cheat mechanic. Not a cheat mechanic.
It's not their only tool.
But the thing is that
either.
It's not their only tool. But because they don't want to use any other tool that they have available to them in the game, they consider self-destruct as the first tool to go to. And that's a problem. Because CIG didn't make Star Citizen for pirates to go flying around and watch ships just explode because the owner goes, shit, there's pirates over there. I don't want to fucking give them my stuff. I'll just press the self-destruct button and explode. You know, pirates, people, when they're engaging in a video game, want to play the video game at, you know, regardless of the activity. Space truckers want to fat arm it in their truck and haul cargo from A to B. That's all cool. Space pirates want to go take the cargo from the space trucker that's fat arming it, moving the cargo from A to B. That's also cool.
Booby Bear,
CIG
thank you for your
wants
20.
that. Now, CIG as a game creation company wants to encourage players to play the game the way that they've designed it to. Now, if they tell one group, hey, you can play the game, you know, the way that you want, and then tell the other group, you can play the game the way that you want too, and they come together, and one group is able to just outright deny it straight off the bat before the other one even gets to do the thing that they were told that they could do, purely because the second group just sits there and goes, well, I don't fucking care about their gameplay, which is a valid reason, but I also don't want to have to put the time and effort into actually playing the game that was sold to me. I only want to do this one small aspect of it and ignore everything else, and then have the audacity to sit there and go like, I'm not cheating, or this is not an exploit, or, you know, bloody, as you were pointing out, there's no tools to, you know, fight you guys off, you know, an outright fucking lie. Why would we not get upset? Like, we're trying to play the game, and all you're doing is sitting there with your fucking, you know, head up your own ass, going, the solution's not being handed to me, so I'm going to take the easiest way out possible. Like, I'm not being spoon-fed my content the way that I want, even though I was told about, you know, I can do the gameplay that I want, but guess what? There's a whole bunch of gameplay that everybody else can fucking do in the same environment. We're all expected to be able to interact with each other.
Thank you for your 5, Crane.
You know, like, if you don't want to engage in that gameplay, fine, don't. But don't sit there and think that other people are going to sit and accept that you're going to try and cheat your way out of it as much as possible. You know, combat logging is a scumbag move. I'm glad that they made the changes that they did. You know, alt F4ing out of fights is bullshit. You should not do that at all. It shouldn't be allowed. You should be penalized to the fullest. Both lawful and unlawful players. If you fucking are running around red with a crime stat and you can't fucking take that loss, you shouldn't be running red. There's a lot more to this game. There's so much more to this.
I shouldn't have to get friends to thwart a pirate. I mean, yeah, you should. I mean, I think
You seem like a pretty nice guy. I don't think it's hard for you to find friends. Should be.
Just a word of advice, don't lead with calling them sociopaths. I don't think that'll work out well for you if you do. Alright, it's time to move on. Thank you very much everybody as well, by the way, for the super chats if I missed them. Really appreciate it. It has been a bit spicy today, but it's good. Spice is good.
Which one of you guys shared this into a Care Bear Discord? I want to know.
There's only two here. There's only two here. All right. The next post and the last one from Spectrum. I'd only read this this afternoon, or this evening. It was only made yesterday. And it actually fits the discussion. If you've read the description, you already know what's coming. But it is a discussion about PvP and the problems with it in Star Citizen.
Problems with it?
Yeah, apparently PvP has issues. So, for those, if you're interested...
Maybe it requires a PvP solution.
Hey. That's not what the OP says here. It's a design issue, Dobbs. CIG's fault.
It's CIG's fault.
Yep.
It's either our fault or CIG's fault.
Alright. So problems in Star Citizen PvP are deeply rooted in design issues. I like how they've actually put a picture here to help draw attention to it. For those who are wondering, that's concept art for the Legionnaire.
The Legionnaire, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking love the fatal funnel of the Legionnaire. And by the way, I don't want to bring back if you enlarge this screenshot, bring back the topic of choke points. Remember when we were talking about that?
Yes.
Earlier? This is probably the worst choke point in all creation. And by the way, I'm not saying that this needs to be changed. I think this is fine. The only thing I want is a fucking riot shield. Riot
100%.
shields? Yes. Riot shields? I don't think, I don't know. It may be just me, chat, but I really don't think a riot shield is a tough ask. I'm pretty sure that they can make that in like a day. Just give us riot shields, and then choke points are fucking bam mitigated. Just give me some fucking riot shields, right? We all in agreement? Riot shields. Engine code needs to be written. Space dude, you get out of here with that common sense. You shut your mouth.
This is one of those situations where it's like the concept art. Like for starters, one of the guys is running. He has an FS9 on his back, and he's carrying the P8 like he's going to use that instead. Like,
what the fuck? Why?
But they're having, like, they're in a fucking conga line. So this is a PvE role-playing group charging a ship.
This is why
fighting another PvE role-playing group, fighting them, because you got a conga line.
This is why concept artists are not game developers.
You got a conga line, everybody in a straight line, one behind each other, so that when the first guy gets shot, whoever shot him doesn't have to re-aim. They can just literally just hold down the trigger and just, you know, gun them all down in line. Old mate, who's prepping a grenade to throw, is getting ready to finish off the rest of his team members who actually managed to make it through the rest of the way. And then you got the two guys who are standing on the opposite end, who are standing in the middle, balls out, fucking, like, asking to be shot as well. And then you got the guy on the far right hand side of the screen shooting from depth, just slightly to the left of all their teammates. So if the grenade doesn't finish him off, old mate who's at the end of the line shooting down the fatal funnel as well will finish off anybody else. So those guys in the middle of that fucking hallway are going to get shot from the front, from the back, and then get it blown up.
I know something funny too. Like, talking about riot shields. You ever play Rainbow Six Siege? You know, Montaigne. I want that riot shield. If you guys know, you know, I want that riot shield. Come on, guys. 900 years in the future has to be done. Has to be.
Can you tractor beam a body for use as a riot shield? It's not that good. You're better off just using a one SCU box.
We've done a lot of like quasi testing and experimenting with like makeshift riot shields, and it's just it's tough, man. Like, here's the thing: like we've gone to Kovalex and tried to use some of those like metal slabs that get like left around the thing. We've tried to use one SCU boxes. You can't use two SCU boxes. We've tried to use other bodies. We've tried to use pretty much anything that you can tractor beam, like any large object that you can tractor beam, and it doesn't work that well unless you're like deep in an airlock and you need to fucking like, it works at Jumptown, for example, like using a fucking SCU box to block incoming fire. Like if you put it right up against your person, then yeah, and then you can also actually use it offensively, but it's not really ideal, and it's more cumbersome than if we were just to have a riot shield. So riot shield coming out 2023 this year. We're on the road to riot shield, guys.
You got a higher chance of getting that than Rhodes on Pyro. Alright, let's crack on with this post. Star Citizen consistently claims to want to support good PvP. However, the environmental design decisions of the game do not create situations where good PvP is possible.
Pray tell.
The game is filled with questionable environment and system level designs that are deep problems for fast and responsive PvP gameplay, where split seconds matter and players need time to react. This is not just an issue of these issues being present in one game area, but they are baked into many different core systems. In my opinion, undoing these issues is going to be nearly impossible. I think part of the reason why this conversation came about, or this post came about, is because of griefers at Siege of Oris and shooting people in choke points.
Griefers. Oh my god, griefers. You're shooting at me in these choke points. Griefers. I don't just bad game design. I keep getting shot coming out of the fucking
It's the game's fault. It's that PvP play. It's the griefers' fault. Rampant usage of single point of entries and man trap spaces that are easy kill zones for AoE weapons or high saturation fire. All outposts have just one airlock entrance that takes an eternity to cycle. Players are easily trapped in man trap sections where they can easily be killed or are exposed through opening airlocks that offer no cover, so it's literally shooting fish in a barrel. This is seen in the Siege of Oris and Shuttle, the airlocks at outposts at Jumptown, the various hallways in ship interiors. Elevators are a big one. It's everywhere, not just one place, but all over. It's hard to have good FPS gameplay when your only option for breach is a straight shot airlock that tells the enemy you're coming, has no cover, and is an easy kill zone once the beach door opens and exposes you to the enemy.
If that's the case, then why is it so easy for us to thwart other players on a ship when we board it? Why is it so easy, guys? Why are we able to breach through those choke points with so much aggression and speed and violence?
Well, it's because most of the time our opponents are using... No. It's the game's fault, but most of the time the people that we're pirating are wearing sperm suits because they're too worried about losing gear.
Yeah, and they're actually sitting in their pilot seat.
Yeah.
Fucking stone-faced because they don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm fucking attacking an NPC. So bizarre.
At least an NPC would be
Like
trying to
it-
assert dominance by T-posing in the chair.
I feel like sometimes they literally just take their hands off their peripherals and get up and just walk out of their room. Like seriously, like sometimes I really think
No,
that
they've tabbed
happens.
out. They're tabbed
Or
out. They're on
yeah,
Spectrum.
whatever.
They're on Spectrum. Tabbed
true.
out on Spectrum. Screeching that they're being pirated. Very long animations for everything. Climbing rock faces, interacting with piloting seats, getting out of bet, looting. All of the SC animations are slow and clunky. They take
This is
forever.
this is something that I'll actually agree with, because like I've always thought about this and made a suggestion where if you just press the key to get out of the seat, it does the regular animation, and if you need to get out of the seat quickly, you hold the key and it does a quicker animation. Although I guess you can argue, then what's the point of the normal animation? So I don't know. Maybe just shorten down all the animations entirely.
So COG had actually worked on this for ship entry animations for certain fighters, where you had your regular, your slow, you get on into your ship and then you sit in the seat, and then they had a faster one where it was like, I think, an urgent animation where it was like your character pretty much was sprinting up the ramp, hauling themselves into it, and it would take like half the time, but they never implemented it.
Yeah, because it's like, why use the slower animations at that point? Just like a pure gameplay perspective. Like, I guess people would want to do it for like, I don't know, like fucking roleplay reasons, I guess. But it doesn't really make sense otherwise. Unless they want to like tie it to like medical, like if you go into the cockpit too fast, you'll fucking sprain your ankle or some shit.
Yeah, they take forever. By the time I can get out of a constellation seat, the attacker can breach 2 rooms and be in melee range with a knife. Players stuck in a position that requires them to do an animation while they're in enemy crosshairs are straight dead. These long animations are built into almost all SE activities. This includes med pens and med guns, which are unresponsive and not snappy despite being your most important survival tools. There's a reason for that. It's technical limitations because of the state of the servers being so bad. Vehicle combat. Going to reserve majority judgment here until we get master modes for ship-to-ship combat. SC devs have admitted that time to kill is too low, and weapon type disparity purpose continues to be an issue. The current flight model is not good, but they are addressing that through future changes. One thing that I will say is that the effectiveness of air forces against ground is a serious problem in mixed arms combat. The ability for fighters to just hover above a ground vehicle and use certain maneuvers to avoid fire while easily killing said ground forces is a major issue that needs to be addressed. Hopefully this will be addressed in the master modes, and the ability for non-VTOL designed air-to-air, space-to-space fighters to hover will either fully taken away or be so ineffective they won't even think about using fighter VTOL for anything other than landing, unless you're in an Inferno, which is actually designed to ground strafe.
He makes a point about the railgun in the next bullet point. Oh
the railgun
God.
is so powerful it essentially nullifies all ground vehicles and dropships as free kills.
Oh, no, dude.
Infantry should have powerful options against heavy armor, but they need to be high risk, low ammo count, and extremely bulky and heavy. A good example of high risk would be a satchel charge. The railgun is high risk. It's low ammo count. It's only 5 shots in the magazine, and it is extremely bulky and heavy. Like, it slows your character down significantly. It's a shoulder-mounted weapon. And as Dobbs pointed out, like, their second point about effectiveness of Air Force against ground, it's always a serious issue in mixed arms combat. In real life, it's an issue. It's the reason why you have shoulder, what was it, manpad?
Like, people underestimate how much aircraft is such a massive force multiplier. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 10 guys or 100 guys or 100,000 guys or 1,000,000 guys. Fucking JDAMs don't care who's on the ground when they explode.
Like, I talk about, you know, things that you should fear in the game. You know, bombs, you should fear them. Missiles and torpedoes are things that you should fear. And if you're on the ground, you should fear things that are in the air. And that's okay. Now,
like,
do we have tools to...
Like, the balance between aircraft and ground forces, it's sort of meant to be unbalanced. Like, from like a pure infantry standpoint, unless you have like crazy assets in place, like if you have ballistas, if you have, you know, other types of ground assets, like, people really hope that this guy's not underestimating how fucking powerful the ballista is right now at this time. Anybody else getting chills, chat, when I'm mentioning the ballista? Like, anybody that fucking flies within, what's the range? Like, what's the effective range on the ballista? I can't exactly remember, but anyone that flies
like
in range of
5
it
kilometers
is
or something.
essentially, they're essentially dead. They're just dead.
Oh, CIG buffed it
more
hard.
And moreover too, it's like the balance and the counter to aircraft is to use your own fucking aircraft. I think there's a reason why there's only so much you can do. There's only so much force that you can employ from the ground versus air assets. That's why most of the counter in the real world for aircraft is just more aircraft.
Like, it's just... CIG acknowledged that the ballista was in a really bad space, and the reason why they acknowledged that was they observed its use in Jumptown and how useless it was there to start off with. So they buffed the fuck out of it. They made it really hard to detect from the air, and they made its torpedoes really potent, and its targeting system really potent too. Because whilst there's not supposed to be many things on the ground that can kill stuff in the air, the stuff that is on the ground that can kill the stuff in the air, you're supposed to fear. But, you know, once again, you need to use those tools. And I don't know if you guys are picking up what CIG's putting down, but it almost feels like you have to play this game with other people in order to be able to take advantage of all the tools that they're giving you.
Like, it's such a strange point of view that some people have. It's like they want CIG to put tools and mechanics in place where a solo player can fucking demolish an organized group with little to no effort. Just me saying that, do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
It's so dumb. It's just dumb. Alright, well, let's read the recommendations. On foot and interior designs need to be better. Less one-man box elevators, multiple entrances, less man-trap airlocks that are kill traps, less Solanke shuttles that can be camped by grenade launchers and snipers. I don't mind choke points and cover limits inside player ship interiors as long as they give defender advantage against the boarding crew. So, they only want choke points as long as it gives them the advantage. If it doesn't give them the advantage, they don't want choke points. Gotcha. Players need some or multiple forms of portable cover / riot shield options to protect them in breach situations where the only option is through an infamous SC kill trap, elevator, or man trap. Like we said before. Railgun needs to be nerfed, or the effectiveness of armor, dropships, and air-to-ground vehicles meant for killing infantry needs to go way up, namely in survival power. The survival power of vehicles like tanks against these weapons also needs to go up. Being infantry and seeing an over roll in should still pure terror. It does, if you don't have a fucking railgun. Like, the railgun is the counter to those. That's why it's as powerful as it is. It's supposed to be a counter. Not everybody should be running around with a railgun though. Fighter hovering needs to die. If you want to hover and strafe ground targets, you need to go get an Inferno or use a dedicated dropship with VTOL. A2, Vault, Cutlass Steel, Redeemer, etc. Alright, but here's a question for you. What about on moons that have lower gravity? Because if you're on a moon with lower gravity, then, and they still make hovering useless for those fighters, like, that means that those thrusters are really, really weak. Master mode flight model needs to be good. It's the last chance there is for a rework without delaying Squadron 42 for another 10 years. What is their metric for good? What do they mean by good? How does it... What's good mean? Master mode flight model needs to be good. What happens if it's not? Or what happens if it's not good for them?
They're going to make another Spectrum post.
Yes, they will. Not really much you can do.
Why don't we just make the game good? Why don't we just make Master Modes good?
Fuck, that's it.
I don't know. Seems plausible to me.
Somebody quick we'll make another Spectrum post and just tell CIG the solution. I don't know why they didn't think of it earlier. Just make the game good. Not really much you can do about animations. This is probably a design issue we will need to live with. The fix is to make it harder for FPS players to reach areas to attack players when said victim players are in positions where long animations are needed, such as long cutting or hacking time on a Constellation bridge door so the crew has time to get out of their seats and grab a gun off the wall. My issue with this point is that if you know the animations are long, like putting a ship into a position for a boarding action in their current example, it's pretty fucking obvious what's going on. For starters, your ship's not your ship has not exploded. Because killing ships in this game is really easy to do. They even acknowledge that, you know, and they point out that CIG acknowledges that there's a low time to kill on a ship. So if your ship gets disabled and it hasn't exploded and you're not dead, you're getting boarded. That's the next thing that's happening. So get the fuck out of the chair. Like, this particular issue, this example here, can be addressed without CIG changing the long animations. Like, the long animations are an issue. I agree with that point. But the example that they're giving is a terrible one. Like, you can get out of the chair in time if somebody's boarding your ship. Because the amount of effort that it takes to get to your ship to a point of being able to board it gives you more than an ample enough time to go, I'm going to get boarded next. I better get out of my chair and get ready to defend. There's not really much more that they can do about that. Like, if you're in a terminal though, and you need to get out of that terminal because somebody starts shooting at you, then yeah, that's a problem, because the animation to get out takes ages to get out of that fucking terminal. Because it bloody sucks you in, and you're stuck there. Like, Security Post Korea is a really good example, where you're there, you're clearing your crime stat, and then you get shot at. You're stuck in that animation. You're trying to get yourself out so that you can pull out a gun. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Like, don't go to SPK by yourself then. Have friends around. Have your friends running around checking. Like, there's other things that you can do to overcome these problems. Like, they're asking for quality of life improvements here. Like, on foot and interior design needs to be better. Less one-man box elevators, multiple entrances, less man-trap airlocks that are kill traps. Fucking, well, too fucking bad. Like, I can guarantee you that a lot of military guys would love for houses to be designed so that fatal funnels are a bit wider, so that it would make it easier for you to push in, so that you wouldn't get funneled through, you know, a hallway and just get mowed down. You know, the solution to that, though, is to either create your own entrance by blowing a fucking hole in a wall, which isn't going to be something that we're going to be able to do in Star Citizen, or using tools like riot shields, smoke, you know, CS gas, you know, other things that enable you to be able to have an effect on your opponent without putting yourself in harm's way. Or if you're going to put yourself in harm's way, protect yourself long enough that you can close with them and kill them.
I want to destroy the Spectrum post with a railgun, and you can't stop me. With the apparently OP railgun.
Well, Dobbs
railgun is great, by the way.
Yeah, it's the best thing
W in
with
chat for the railgun. Railgun is the best weapon in the game, and you can't change my mind on it. I fucking love that thing. It's not only a surface-to-air weapon, it's also a breaching tool, and it's an area denial weapon. It's the best fucking thing in the goddamn game. Fucking W.
Like, I'd like to be able to breach through windows. I want to be able to breach through ship cockpits as well. Like, everybody in Mongrel Squad knows my favorite clip of a ship breach, which comes from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Where they go and, I can't even remember the other team's fucking acronym. Essentially, they seize a destroyer from the enemy, and the way that they do that is by hacking the bridge shields, the physical shields that they got on their bridge, so that they can then put charges on the cockpit and then blow the cockpit windows out, or correction, the bridge windows out, so that they can then breach through that. Somebody's got a link for it posted in well, we've got the public server, so you can post it there if you want. Or if you're Mongrel Squad, just posting all comms.
Hmm?
Oh, the video for the Infinite Warfare breaching scene.
Oh yeah, that. See, that's the kind of shit that I want to. Actually, you know what? I can probably find it. If anyone's fucking, if someone doesn't link it to in the meantime. From Infinite Warfare, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Infinite Warfare.
What the fuck happened there?
What the fuck happened there? Yeah, I got it here. This is going in your DMs.
Alright, I'm gonna switch to face cam while I get this prepped. Got a sink tube room ready. What's going on, Sink Tube? Why aren't you working? That is not actually rocking the next stage of the chain. Alright, guess we'll do it the regular way. Sorry, Dobbs, there's not going to be a sync tube link.
The sync tube not working?
Nah. Apparently it's not finding it.
I could try to find another one.
Actually, who was it? Infinity, it's not Infinity Ward that made that one.
Alright, you want to try this one? It's the same thing.
Let's try again. There's actually one that was done by the makers of Call of Duty. Main reason why I want to grab that one is because it's higher quality.
I'm gonna send you another one because this one's actually good quality. The most recent one I sent you is good quality. Fucking 6 years ago, Christ Almighty.
Yeah, been around for a while.
Like how people forget that this game existed. It's kind of funny.
Bit disappointed. I actually want to play it. I've watched the campaign videos for it. Like, I got tired of the Call of Duty series a long time ago.
You a Call of Duty or a Battlefield guy?
I was both. I enjoyed both. I never chose sat in one camp. I liked them for their differences. All right.
I chose Battlefield because Battlefield was objectively better back then. Can't really say so now.
Yeah, 2042. I don't understand how they fucked that one.
Only in Battlefield, guys. Yeah, fucking good one.
Alright, so this one, Infinite Warfare campaign. I'm just gonna pause the the music.
Sync tube not working? Or
Just start.
oh yeah.
Keep pushing!
Hard.
What the fuck?
Keep pushing!
Why rewind it to the beginning?
Contact by the bulkhead!
Agents?
What's up?
Want to rewind it to the beginning or something?
Is it not playing? Was it not playing for you?
How it works. Yeah, that works now.
Eyes on. Tigress, we're visual.
Copy visual. Covering fire.
Follow me in, Raider.
On you, Fever.
Watch for flak!
I see it. Ghost Guard Jack is down.
Zone's coming up. Goes down in 3, 2, 1. Go!
One, two, away!
We're on his way.
What's crazy is that I'm watching this
Let's get there.
and I could draw so many like equivalents to what I'm already doing in Star Citizen because we've done this kind of thing dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah. I would actually like a wrist-mounted tractor beam attachment so that we could do that type of stuff. Like,
It's a
That-
grapple. Yeah, it's a
grapple.
grapple.
Yeah, that's a grapple there, but since we've already got a tractor beam attachment, we could literally do the same thing. Attach it to your wrist like that.
He died. What the fuck?
Why the fuck did he put this in there?
Got it on the hardest difficulty. See, these are the kind of experiences that I want to have doing piracy in Star Citizen on the regular. Like, doing this is what really makes Star Citizen the game. And it's like, the unfortunate reality is that in order to get this kind of experiences right now on a regular basis is to do scripted stuff. And
Yeah.
it's part of the reason why you don't really see these kind of like crazy battles on our YouTube channel is because no one's willing to do that organically, and you can't really find this kind of stuff organically. It's really unfortunate to see. And it's like, you know, say what you will about, you know, the whole alpha. This right here, actually.
Yeah, this part here.
This is so good. I remember seeing this a long time ago when CIG were testing, like with shutters and everything, and blowing out glass elements and having everything get sucked out because of the decompression. Like, that is, I want that so fucking bad. And what's cool about this is that we're already somewhat getting a portion of this with Soft Death, where we're kind of boarding an EVA and like rooms get depressurized and stuff like that. So like part of this is already there, but it just needs like a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more.
No, Dirty. Welcome, by the way. This is from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Secondary.
Roger that.
Down the elevator shaft. Go.
Alright, and that's pretty much it. I only wanted to watch the boarding action part.
Yeah, but as I was saying, like even with like one of our most recent videos, like They Fought Back, for example, that was the closest that we've ever gotten in a long time of what we just saw there in that Call of Duty video, where people actually had turret gunners. There was a multi-crew ship. People actually tried to fight back when we boarded and everything. It's like, that is the kind of thing that I should expect when doing piracy, instead of like these random solo space dads that fucking cry, whine, and complain and self-destruct their ship whenever they see red on their radar because they're too fucking afraid to do anything about it. It's like the game needs to be more fleshed out to facilitate that kind of stuff, and it's just going to be better for everybody when that stuff happens on the regular more often. It's going to be better for everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be more balanced. It's going to be more fun. that's what makes the game a game, and that's what makes those kind of like unforgettable game experiences.
Like being able to do boarding actions like that, that intensity. Although, like that ship's bridge crew deserved to die the way that they did. Like, I don't understand why they weren't wearing spacesuits when they were going into a fight. But yeah, it's like old mate who's providing these suggestions here, like some of these are just, you can work around them. Some of them don't need to be addressed at all. Like they're not going to change the design of all the outposts and that, all the like, so that it facilitates FPS gameplay unless they want FPS gameplay to be happening there. Like Jumptown got updated because it was that single choke point, and it was really easy to actually defend if you took the right tools. Like all you had to do was take an two SCU box and then just have 3 people camp the door. One of them just needs a grenade launcher, the other 2 can just use fucking FS9s. And you'll just smash anyone that tries to come through. I've experienced it before. And trying to fight through that particular type of choke point scenario is really difficult to do. It's not impossible, but it's really hard. You're going to lose a lot of people, but that's, you know, sitting there complaining about a problem doesn't fix it. Especially when you got to rely on somebody else who can address it, but they've got other priorities. So you got to come up with your own solutions. Yeah, like, the sooner we get master modes, the better as well.
I can't get off unless they fight back. Same, Rejora. We're in the same boat.
Fucking hell.
Like, shoot me in the face. That's what gets my rocks off, man. Choke point me, daddy.
Alright. Bit spicy today with the people who decided to drop in. Welcome, by the way. We don't mind a bit of spice here. It's okay to have differences of opinion, as long as you don't attack the individual.
Except for that guy who called us sociopaths. Kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. I'm just saying, if sociopaths was the first thing that came to your mind when thinking about piracy gameplay, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that says a lot more about you than it does about us.
You're not ready. You're not ready for this game. So, Spectrum's a bit on fire at the moment with a lot of Siege of Orison griefing complaints, and we kind of touched on it.
Do more of it.
You know, like, I think the most useful bit of information that we got out of this entire stream was a new method of being able to, I wouldn't say grief other players, but put them in a position of where they should really consider the consequences of their actions. It's the whole thing that CIG keeps trying to, you know, pigeonhole certain gameplay styles whenever they run these events, and really the solution is to give more freedom.
Marcus asks, but where do you turn off piracy? I don't know, when I turn the game off. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
like, would I shut my PC off and go live my life? I guess that's what that's what piracy stops. I guess
it's still in the context of the game. It's fun for you because you want to do that gameplay when you want it. When should piracy be considered not all the time, everywhere? So he's asked 2 questions. And chat's moving.
I only
Not
saw
all
the
the
first
time,
part because chat
everywhere.
was moving so fast.
Yeah. Like, not all the time, everywhere. When CIG creates the areas that are supposed to be safer, Stanton is not that. They've made that clear. Stanton is the middle of the road in terms of security. And it's actually part of the law as well that Stanton has a crime issue.
When the amount of fuck about is directly proportional to find out. Yeah, true.
Ooh. The old piracy will be in piracy areas point. Pyro is where pirates will learn how to do piracy. Stanton's still going to have piracy happening in it. And I've discussed this at length in other live streams, so I highly encourage you guys to go watch them. When we do these reactions to Spectrum posts are actually pretty good to be able to listen to in the background, like a podcast, but if we're doing reactions to videos, then you'll obviously want to watch too. But I have talked about this in the past and described how Pyro will be where pirates learn how to do their craft, but Pyro to cargo haulers is the same as what Stanton is to pirates in terms of risk. And it's the same as reward. Pyro to industrialists is the same as what Stanton is to pirates.
The safe areas are where all the good shit is.
Yes. Pyro will lack manufacturing capability. Stanton does not. Pyro has more raw resources. Stanton does not. Industrialists will want those raw resources to take back to Stanton to turn into manufactured goods to sell at a higher profit. Well, pirates can't get those manufactured goods because there's nowhere that manufactures them in Pyro, so they'll come to Stanton to take those manufactured goods to go to Pyro to sell.
I am going to penetrate your safe spaces. Sorry, what? I kind of lost track of the conversation. Sorry, what? What's going on? Will I use protection? I mean, what do you mean by protection?
He's always armed.
Like, well, like, will I protect myself? I mean, I guess with a team, I'll be with a team.
We've got psychologists in the chat. I like the name too, by the way. Do you hack your crime stat often? If so, do you think piracy is going to become harder in 3.18 as SPK is the only hack available? Not really. I don't really hack my crime stats away. It's normally quicker to cycle through prison. Even 318 with the changes that they made, it's still going to
Can we
be
make
faster
a quick,
to cycle through.
Yeah, can we make a quick Venn diagram with the whole Stanton Pyro people?
I'll do it. I'll do it later after
Need
the
laser
stream.
pointers, red circles, and arrows. That oughta.
Everybody loves red circles and arrows.
Crazy, man.
Ooh, here's a good statement here. You do not have to care about someone's gameplay to do piracy. Well, I can say the same thing about trade. You don't have to care about other people's gameplay to do trade. Do you consider your actions when you buy out all the commodities at a trade outpost? Do you not care that somebody else won't be able to buy that same commodity?
Yeah, what about me in my fucking freelancer that wants to go buy some fucking titanium at Ariel, but you selfish fucking greedy bastard purchases all the stock for your own personal gain, and you don't even consider what anyone else wants to do after you. That's honestly griefing. You're griefing my gameplay. You're preventing me from doing what I want to do. Agents, I'm upset.
You're upset? You've upset Dobbs. Look at what you've done. Dobbs is
You
upset.
upset me, yeah. Now I'm going.
Hope you feel bad.
Yeah, now I'm going to go on a sociopathic rampage.
At Siege of Orison, dressed as Ninetales.
At Siege of Orison, dressed as Ninetales, and I'm gonna fucking spam my left bracket key. To hear that? That's me giving people crime stat.
Just set up a macro. It's gonna wear out that key if you don't. Like, the whole point of us not caring about other people's gameplay is it's a mindset that comes from the reality of when you sit there and you think about why you bought this game.
Yeah, you know, and you know what too? You know what? I saw a comment in chat. I don't know who it's from. Full cargo holds owned by greedy haulers need to be liberated. Yeah, you know what? That's what we're here for. These greedy industrialists want to take all the fucking goods for themselves. And you know what? Pirates are here to liberate that and then spread the fucking wealth amongst everybody else. I'm just kidding. It's probably only going to be just us, but still, it needs to be liberated. I'm just,
yeah, we got Dirty in chat.
Yeah, fucking.
There's a few others.
Let's go crazy.
I recognize a few other names.
Pretty sure Bitters is going to partake in some forced salvage in 318. Crazy, man. It's crazy.
Like, I always find it funny when people accuse us of not thinking of other people's gameplay, and then we go, well, what about traders who buy out all the fucking commodities at an outpost? What about
miners that suck up all the quantanium on the moons?
Yeah, and
then mining Marcus goes down and tries to find some quantanium and can't find anybody because, you know, Quantanium Carl came by an hour ago and sucked it all up. Honestly, that's griefing. Serious griefing. Serious industrial griefing.
It's griefing on an industrial scale.
Don't care about that. You don't see any Spectrum posts about that.
Yeah, that's right.
It's only us. We only get the flag for it, and we're trying to help people. Honestly, we're trying to help the other industrialists.
Hey. Oh, it's the scheduled gilded fucking disconnect. There we go.
Yeah, I'm good. Trying to minimize the channels, and I ended up joining another one by accident. Sorry,
maybe it's the. No. I'm just saying maybe it's the rage that I feel like my hands are shaking. Maybe I think that's it. The rage from this discussion. It's affecting me internally, personally. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. I'm shaking.
Helium Dobbs.
Laughing while you murder someone that is minding their business is a pretty clear indicator.
I mean, if they
It's
deliberately smash themselves.
game.
It's a
Ow.
video game. It's a fucking video game. We're not fucking killing them in real life.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes. It's a video game. Not
Like,
real life. There's a clear distinction there. You're looking at a flat screen. Or a curved one if you got the coin for it.
So weird.
It's
Like,
pixels.
what a
Us laughing about it has no bearing on our character as people in real life. We're
What a
enjoying
disgusting-
ourselves.
Such a disgusting thing to say. Like, who the fuck says that? Like, I don't. It's so bizarre. Like, you
It's
to be
a
trolling.
video game.
It's just so like so awful. Like, I don't understand.
It's a video game.
Like, who
No,
the
you're
fuck-
killing people in game and laughing about it. You should feel bad. You should feel bad about killing people in a video game. That allows you to do that. That allows you to play as the criminal. No, everybody needs to be fucking good. They need to be lawful. They all need to drive on the correct side of the
Oh,
road.
man, you should
They all
be-
need to make sure that they give way to each other. Make sure you turn your headlights on at night so
should
that
be-
people know where you are.
You should be ashamed of yourself for that comment. Like, Christ Almighty! Like, I feel like this guy's this. I feel like this guy is part of like the same crowd that think video games influence teenagers to go kill people in real life. I bet that's what this guy like thinks. This is 100% what he feels like. 100%. Like, video games cause children to be violent. Video games are what's causing the mass shootings everywhere. And fucking, it's like, are you serious? Fucking people are laughing at people that say that, just like everyone is laughing at you right now for making such a disgusting comparison. That is awful that you say something like that, man. It's fucking awful, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Seriously. Seriously, go look in the mirror and take a minute to really reflect on the kind of shit that you say to people. Like, it's really bad. I'm being as real as I can with you, man. Seriously. Not a good look. Like, not a good look at all.
Amiro, you don't understand. Arena Commander is not the persistent universe. Arena Commander is the game within the game. So you're not actually killing people. It's okay.
Does griefing reflect a real life person's mindset? No, it doesn't. And the notion that it does, and the fact that you're trying to make that comparison, is disgusting, man. Seriously, go take a shower, go sit in a corner, and think about what you've done, think about what you've said, and the kind of shit that you're saying to people. It's not a good look at all, man. Not a good look. Kind of weird.
Alright, I think it's time we called it. It's like 3:30 in the morning for me. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along. Really appreciate all the super chats as well. Really appreciate that. Conversation's been pretty spicy tonight. I'm pretty sure it's not going to end there. Just a reminder that we do have the Mongrel Squad public server. It is open to everyone. Keep in mind, though, that whilst we're open to everybody joining, that if you do end up acting like a dickhead there, you will get kicked. My tolerance for bullshit is quite low on platforms that I run. We do encourage discussions there, though. Healthy discussions about Star Citizen gameplay and different thought processes on how things should, go. Chances are that a lot of these conversations will just go around and around in circles, and you know, just like in Spectrum, I expect that there'll be cycles of the discussions that we have depending on what's going on in game.
Why so weak? So weak. Sorry, I'm laughing at something in the work chat.
Anyway, once again, thank you very much for coming along. Stream for next week, not sure yet because I don't have my schedule, but it should be roughly around the same time. And there's no other scheduled stream outside of that. We're still in the doldrums of 318. We're starting to push back into 317 to see if we can find people to pirate. So there may be some more Piracy Ops videos coming in the close future, but we're also taking a different approach to how we're going to be selecting the videos that we put out. We're looking for hits that have a bit more substance to them, as opposed to just regurgitating the same stuff over and over again. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna get inspired. Get inspired and be kind to each other.
Yes. Don't call each other names. And remember, it's only a video game. Hope you're all ready to be inspired. Catch us all next week.
Tell yourself, existence makes a difference. Chant this mantra to yourself, existence is pretty cool, existence is pretty cool. We all carry the potential to try to be cynical. Remember how the ancient once said, "It's some other world's hologram." Forget the fact that nourish truths and do something edgy. Do not eat wives. 90% of all scientists agree that wives are in fact exactly like you and me. Keep breathing. Try to loosen your head. Repeat this to yourself. Go away, awareness of my unavoidable death. Go away, awareness of my unavoidable death. When you're fed up with romance, remember to go with the flow. If you suffocate fame, try not to cook old people. Keep reminding yourself that you are bangable. Notice the connection between your soul and the cosmos. Keep in mind that, get wasted. Keep in mind the ancient wisdom, the only thing keeping you from enduring success is your mind. Long ago, in the Middle Ages, lived a highly respected gnome whose home was a wooden hut. One day, a wanderer visited him where he lived, and said, "Greetings, my good gnome, do you have any idea where a wanderer like myself can find a fish?" The gnome remained silent. "Why do you behave in such a manner? asked the wanderer. "You do not know the meaning of reluctant," replied the gnome. The wanderer then understood what the gnome meant, and became like a slave to the gnome, and they both decided to never talk to each other again. There is a clear correlation between creativity and loneliness. Meditate on this insight. The days to come are actually just cancers on the wrong planet.